Hi everybody, today's lecture is about capsules. This lecture is based on the reference of Enzo's Pharmaceutical Dosage Forms and Drug Delivery System, 11th edition, chapter 7. After learning this lecture, students should be able to define pharmaceutical capsules, differentiate between hard gelatin and soft gelatin capsules, compare advantages and disadvantages of hard gelatin and soft gelatin capsules. List categories of excipients with examples which are employed in the compounding or manufacture of capsules. State USB compendial requirements for capsules. Describe appropriate techniques for packaging and storing capsules. Instruct the administration of oral capsules. In order to facilitate you in understand the big picture of the lecture, this is lecture outline. First, in the lecture, we will introduce about capsule. Then, the types of capsule. There are two types of capsule, hard gelatin capsule and soft gelatin capsule. Hard gelatin capsule will include several kinds of composition and properties. Soft gelatin capsule with a special focus on a soft gelatin capsule shell. Compendial requirements for capsule has many requirements. Then counting capsules and tablets, packaging and storage for capsule and tablets, oral administration of capsules and tablets. Okay, now we go to detail of the lecture. Capsules are solid dosage forms in which one or more medicinal or inert substances, as powder, compact, beads, or granulation, are enclosed within a small gelatin shell. So in short, capsule includes API and excipients, and all ingredients are encapsulated in a small gelatin shell. This is the image of a typical capsule. Capsule shell, the outer shell we call capsule shell, include the ingredient. Ingredient can be powder, that means the API excipients can be in the powder form, or excipient and API can be in the mixture of granule form, or the excipient of or the ingredient of API and excipient can be mixed into the bead like this, and the bead is encapsulated into capsule shell. Capsules are commonly intended to be swallowed whole or to remove contents from the gelatin shell occasionally in case you want to transfer the capsule dosage form into liquid dosage form. This case is occasionally. If you want to remove the content into capsule, you need to read the manufacturer instruction carefully, because there's some special capsule. It's not advised to break or crush the capsules. In a classification of capsule, there's three ways of classification. If it's based on properties of capsule shell, you have hard gelatin capsule and soft gelatin capsules. If we base on properties of drug release, you have immediate release capsule, enteric coated capsules, and sustained release capsules. If you base on the routes of administration, you have oral capsules or rectal capsules. Normally, in pharmaceutics, we focus more in drug dosage forms, so we will base on the classification of hard gelatin capsule and soft gelatin capsules, and then we will learn details about the properties of each types of capsules. Hard gelatin capsules. The capsule can be clear, colorless, or color or opaque. In the picture here, you can see different colors and different size of capsules. Hard gelatin capsules are used in most of commercial medicated capsules, clinical trials, and extemporaneous compounding prescription. Advantage of hard gelatin capsule is a flexible formulation. It can be sealed and then to protect the exposure of ingredient with atmospheric oxygen. So the capsule shell after sealing is act as a good barriers to prevent the penetration of any environmental factor into the content inside. Disadvantage of hard gelatin capsules are difficult formulation for very bulky materials. Look at the capsule here. It just contains certain amount. It cannot contain a large amount like tablets. Like for tablets, a large amount can be compressed into small tablets, but capsule, the compression is very hard. So with this size of capsule, it just can contain certain amount of ingredients. The machine to make capsule is more slowly than the tablet making. The machine it can fill powder or granule or bits slowly to the capsule shell here. It takes more time. And in general, making capsule is more expensive than tablets, so the cost of a capsule is usually more expensive than tablets. What is the composition of an empty hard capsule shell? Any hard capsule shell is made from the main ingredient is gelatin. This is a typical image of capsule shell. The shell is made from gelatin, and gelatin is extracted from pork skin. In case for the patient who cannot consume the pork product, or for vegan patient, the capsule shell can be made from polymers such as hydroxypropyl methyl-cellulose. Besides the gelatin or cellulose polymers, a capsule shell also contains sugar, water for moisturizing in the shell here, some dyes and other colorants, or it can include the opaque agent and preservative in the shell. Capsule shell due to its composition, if it's stored in extreme dryness condition, the capsule shell become brittle and crumble. So it's advised to store a capsule in an environment free from excessive humidity or dryness. This is a summary of common excipients for capsules or tablets. Similar to tablets, capsules also need to use diluent, disintegrant, lubricant, glidant, or wetting agent. Selecting a hard gelatin capsule is very important because there's many kinds of variety of size and capacity of capsule. It's important to select the appropriate size to ensure the drug bioavailability and ensure the acceptance from the patient. Typically, a hard gelatin capsules can encapsulate 65 mg to 1 gram of all powder materials. Powder materials here include API and excipient. If you pack the powder into capsule, loosely packed capsule will provide better bioavailability. Avoid compress or tie pack the powder into capsule. In case the drug dose is large and one capsule cannot handle all the materials, in this case, the drug dose can be divided into two capsules instead of one capsules. If the drug's amount is large enough, it can be just like put or encapsulate into the capsule shell. In case the drug dose is too small, diluent can be added to make sure that it can facilitate the process of making capsule and ensure the bioavailability with loosely packed capsule. In making capsule, you always need to calculate for extra capsule because during the process of mixing and filling the powder into capsule, some amount of ingredient can be lost, so extra capsule is necessary to ensure efficient amount to efficient capsules. These are different sizes of capsule from 000, 000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The higher number, the larger size of capsule. Size 000 is the largest size in use orally for humans. Larger than size 000 usually for the animal use. Each capsule, even though you have the same size, but if you use different ingredient, then the amount of ingredient for the same size of capsule can be different. For example, this is the table. We have the size from 000 to 5, that means from large to small. The volume of 000 size is 1.4 milliliter, 00 size 0.95 milliliter, 0 size 0.68 milliliter, and so on. Even though the capsule size can have the same volume, but look at the ingredient, how much we can put inside. For example, quinine sulfate. For the 000, the maximum amount of quinine sulfate can be packed into 000 size capsule is 650 milligrams. However, the same size 000 1.4 milliliter volume here, if you use aspirin, because of the density property different from aspirin and quinine sulfate, the maximum amount of aspirin can be packed into 000 size of capsule is 1040 milligram. However, if you use a sodium bicarbonate, if you use only sodium bicarbonate and to pack into 000 size capsule, you can add maximum up to 1430 milligram of sodium bicarbonate. Similarly, for all the size of capsule, you see, even though the volume is constant, but the amount of ingredient to be packed into each capsule will be different. It's different because it depends on the density of powder. To make capsule, there's many methods, using machine or using manual method. Usually in compounding, a manual method using with hand or punching method is commonly applied. For this method, you look at this capsule shell. There are two parts of capsule shell, the cap and the body. The body longer and the cap shorter. You need to separate the cap from the body. Then in order ointment slab, ointment towel, you mix the mixture and then block the powder bed like this. And then you punch. You use the body, take the body out and punch the capsule into the powder until you fill the body with the desirable weight. After you have the desirable weight of capsule, then reattach the cap to the body and then lock the capsule. After that, the capsule will be clean and polished. To avoid any fingerprint, make sure that you wear gloves during the process of making capsule. An optional step after making most capsule is to seal the capsule. Sometimes you don't have the powder ingredient available, but you have the tablets that contain the API you want. And in case this tablet has no special structure, it's just a simple compressed tablets, that means you can crush the tablets without changing the drug release. So in this case, the tablets will be used as a resource of the excipient and API. So in this case, you just simply crush the tablets, calculate the amount you need, and then punch the powder from the crushed tablets into the capsule shell with the desirable weight. Sometimes the tablets is too small. You can insert the whole tablets into capsule or embed a tablet capsule in capsule powder. For the large or big tablets, you can split into 2 or more pieces and insert into capsule. Remember, in order to split the tablets or to break the tablets or to crush the tablet, make sure that the tablet is for only immediate release and have no special coating or no special control release. In case the materials, that means API and excipients, is not in powder or granules or in tablets. If the excipients is and the API is in the liquid, can we fill the capsule with liquid? The answer is yes. The capsule hard gelatin capsule shell still can include the liquid of drug and excipient. However, The condition is that the capsule shell must not be soluble in the liquid. That means the liquid cannot dissolve the capsule shell. Remember, the capsule shell is made from gelatin and some other ingredient, and gelatin can dissolve in water easily. So if you want to fill the liquid into the capsule, the liquid must be in oil, and it doesn't contain any aqueous, any water, because if the liquid contains water, it can dissolve the capsule shell. In order to fill this kind of liquid into capsule shell, usually the oil liquid, the liquids will be withdrawn into syringe or graduated dropper or pipette, and then you need to calculate how many drop, or you need to calculate the volume that you can add into the capsule shell here, and then this one we will drop into capsule shell and then weigh to get the desired weight. Weight of each capsule is checked based on the property of drugs. For non-potent drugs, first we weigh the first few capsules and then weigh periodically the others to check the uniformity. For the potent drugs, that means the drugs can have therapeutic effects within a very small amount, and every capsule needs to be weighed. In compounding, sometimes the semi-automatic capsule or capsule filling machine can be used. This is the case of capsule filling machine used in compounding. The two links here will lead you to the YouTube video about how to fill a capsule into the capsule filling machine in compounding pharmacy. We just learned about the first important type of capsule is a hard gelatin capsule. The hard gelatin capsule we call the hard because the capsule shell is hard. Now we go to the second kind of types of dosage form in gelatin capsule is soft gelatin capsule. This is some typical image about soft gelatin capsule, like fish oil or some kinds of other drug with the vitamin or nutrient supplement. The composition of soft gelatin capsule shells is similar to the hard gelatin capsule shell. That means it consists of a hard gelatin extracted from pork skin. However, in the soft capsule shell, there's another addition ingredient, that's the glycerin and or sorbitol. This ingredient is added to the shell to make them elastic. So in soft gelatin capsule shell is more elastic than hard gelatin capsule shell. And also preservative and other color, etc. is added the same as for hard gelatin capsule. Usually the soft gelatin capsule shell is filled with a liquid powder or pastry. And for soft gelatin capsule shell, usually we need a kind of special machine to fill and then to seal it. These are compendial requirements for capsule. After making capsule, the capsule products or preparation will be evaluated to ensure the uniformity and stability. That's ultimately to ensure the quality of the capsules. In the compendial requirements for capsule, there's 8 requirements about container, disintegration test, dissolution test, weight variation, content uniformity, content labeling, stability testing, and moisture permeation test. Container, any capsule can be usually placed in a plastic container. It can be opaque or colored or mixed with the kinds of capsule that the light cannot penetrate. In disintegration test, it's similar to for the tablet disintegration. The capsule we put into basket, and the basket will be moved up and down in the fluid, and that's similar to the fluid for gastric fluids. And the immerse time usually like 30 minutes. Immerse 30 times for minutes. For the capsule, the requirement is that no firm core and only some fragments of gelatin shell just appear after the time requirement for disintegration testing. For dissolution testing is to test how fast the drug can be dissolved from capsule dosage form. Similar for the dissolution test in the tablet, the capsule will be placed into the chamber, and the chamber filled with the liquid, similar to the intestine liquid. And there's a paddle in the middle. The paddle will rotate to dissolve the drug, and then the dissolution will be quantified based on the drug dissolved per time. One of important and basic compendial requirement for capsule is the weight variation. Especially it applied for both industry manufacturing of capsules and also especially for compounding of capsule. For the compounding, of course, there's no condition to do other tests like dissolution tester, disintegration tester. Mostly weight variation is applied to all compounding preparation of capsule. Firstly, 10 capsules will be weighed individually, and then the content will be removed. The content it can be powder, granule, something. The content is APIs and excipient. And then the empty shell will weigh again individually. And net weight for the powder will be equal to the total weight of capsule subtract to the empty shell. For the soft gelatin capsule, the process is similar. It's just like to remove the content. For the hard gelatin capsule, so not easy. But for soft gelatin capsule, need to cut to open some hole and then remove the content inside. And the procedure is similar to hard gelatin capsule. The relative standard of deviation to meet for the capsule not more than 2%. For the content uniformity, 10 capsules will be randomly picked, and then the concentration of API in the content will be quantified, and the concentration of API in the capsule must be within 85 to 150% of the label claim. In counting capsule and tablets for dispensing to patient, usually you don't count 1, 2, 3. You count every 5 capsule or 5 tablets on the tray counter tray, and then usually you pour the capsule on the surface like this, and then you count every 5. When you have enough amount of capsule or tablets, then you will cap this one and then pour the counted capsule or tablets to the bottle. Sometimes in the manufacturing, the counting of capsule is made by using a machine. Packaging and storage of capsule are pretty similar for tablets. The capsule can be stored in plastic or glass, sometimes glass container, and to avoid the influence of moisture, sometimes some desiccant is placed, some pack of desiccant or silica gel is placed into the bottle to prevent any moisturization from the environment. And the capsule products need to be stored in a cool and dry place. Avoid any excessive humidity or dryness, because humidity or dryness can make the capsule shell brittle or crumble. For the orally administration of capsule or tablets, the products, the capsule or tablets will be placed upon the tongue and swallow with a glass full of water. It's important because if the patient had the habit to take tablet capsule without water, so it can cause some kind of GI ulceration. When patient use orally, even tablet capsule or any drug, be careful with drug-food interaction. Some possible interaction between the food and the drug when they are administered at the same time. For the special capsule like enteric or control release capsule, the capsule must not be chewed, broken, or crushed, because any chewing, broken, or crushing will make release the drug release on the control release, and Usually normally the drug should be released within a day or within 2 days. For example, if the drug is crushed or choked or broken, then all the dose enough for 2 days will be released at the same time, and it can cause toxicity. If solid dosage forms are not feasible for oral administration, suggesting to change on the dosage form for patient into liquid forms. Okay, so we just done with the lecture. This is the summary of the lecture. Capsules are solid dosage form in which one or more medicinal or inert substances, such as powder, compact beads, or granulation, are enclosed within a small gelatin shell, commonly used for oral administration. Hard gelatin contain hard gelatin capsule shells, and soft gelatin capsules contain soft gelatin capsule shells. Soft gelatin capsule shells contain glycerin and/or sorbitol, which make the shells elastic. The composition of soft gelatin capsule shells in general are similar to the hard gelatin capsule shell. It's just like adding more glycerin and sorbitol. Hard gelatin and soft gelatin capsules have different advantages and disadvantages. Major excipients included in capsules are diluent, filler, disintegrant, lubricant or glidant, and wetting agent. Capsules must meet USP compendial requirements regarding containers, disintegration test, dissolution test, weight variation, content uniformity, content labeling, stability testing, and moisture permeation test. Capsule can be stored in glass or plastic container and placed in cool and dry area. Oral capsules must be swallowed whole with a glass of water and must not be broken, chewed, or crushed if having no additional instructions. That's all for today's lecture. If you have any question, please email me or come to my office in my office hours. Thank you for your attention.